Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, Giants fam? Welcome to the BBO NYG Podcast. I am Mike, that's Jules, that's Sean. Guys, we are only a couple days away, man. By the time you hear this podcast, man, this first game of the regular season, there will be football every weekend from now on until the end of time. I'm very excited about this.
To the end of time. Well, hopefully that's not true. But right now, as it stands, 1 day, 22 hours, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds away from preseason game one kickoff. I mean, we're here. That's it. By the time this podcast drops later tonight, early tomorrow morning, you'll literally be able to say there's a Giants game tomorrow. Preseason, sure, but we're here, guys. It's fucking here.
No, and it's kind of cool that we're kicking off that Thursday night preseason game. I don't mind. Let's get it on. Let's go play the fucking Patriots. I'm not too sure how much of the starters we're actually going to see. But you know what? Listen, at least I think they should go a quarter. In my opinion, the offense should at least play a quarter. That's just what I have to say in regards to that.
Well,
If they suck, I want them to play the whole game.
Yeah, and going to overtime. Dable, he actually said it to the reporters before he even addressed the team, but his intention is to get everybody healthy on the field for all three preseason games. So the starters, Daniel Jones, even Saquon Barkley, it looks like they're all going to be getting snaps. I would imagine game one will probably be a series or two. I don't even think they'll go the full quarter, depending on how the clock management goes in the first quarter there. But I would be surprised if they were on the field for a third drive, either offense or defense. But we will see them. We will see our guys.
You said 3 games? There's no 4 anymore?
Preseason just 3 games now. Yeah, it's this week, next week, and the week after. Then there's an off week, and then it's fucking regular season kickoff, boys.
So I'm gonna miss all the future mailmen that are playing the 4th game of the preseason game that go and get UPS jobs and FedEx jobs right after the last. Man, that sucks. I want to see football every weekend, but now we got.
Apparently the trade-off was with the players' union, if I'm not mistaken, was that if they added an extra regular season game, then they would take away a preseason game. And that just started.
That just started this year.
That just started officially this year, right? Because the game was incorporated last year, and then this year was the trade-off year.
Totally missed that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, look, you know what? They do so much scrimmaging throughout the summer that, you know what? I think these preseason games, I mean, really, it's more for what you were joking about, where it's guys trying to make the cut, guys trying to make special teams. Maybe there's a position battle here and there, on a couple of areas. That's really it, though.
Yeah.
And I guess too, if you're on a new team with a new, or a new coaching staff, you're making sure you're getting the playbook down. But again, that shit's all in practice, man. These guys full out scrimmage. I mean, shit, we saw that going on all summer long so far. I mean, to the point where there was actually a fight that literally broke out that had a fucking coach shoving one of the players. So I mean, these guys do go at it. I mean, right? There was a huge tweet that went out today regarding Saquon Barkley and how he looked, because he literally kind of trucked over Robinson a little bit on one of those plays. And they kept saying it was like the hit stick or some shit, So these dudes be hitting. They hit.
Who was the coach that got into it with I think it was one of our linebackers, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Was it Bobby Johnson, Bobby Cox, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think he was the defensive line coach.
Bobby Cox was
Bobby Johnson. That's what it is. Bobby Johnson.
Yeah, Bobby Johnson is. Bobby Cox was the manager of the Atlanta Braves back in the day when he lost to the Yankees in 1996 World Series.
I guess I just had Cox in the brain. I don't know.
Well, Jules was putting his dick
no
out.
Pun intended for later in the show, huh?
Jules is laying out his dick against the people on the haters club on getting suspended from Twitter for 12 hours. What is getting put in Twitter jail for 12 hours really gonna? Are they really gonna stop us? Come on. You got to do better than that. I just need it. Sometimes I need a 12-hour break from that shit.
Yeah, for real. And you know what it is? It's not like you come off the 12-hour break and you can't wait. Like you got out of jail, you're ready to fucking run around freedom. You're like, yo, I'm gonna kind of pause for a day or two. Like, all right, cool.
Dude,
you know, it's a little embarrassing to see the shit blocked. I can only DM people. Like, whatever.
I know, Jules. Sometimes it's a little bit messy up there, man. It's like I'm getting too many crazy opinions. Everybody dissing Daniel Jones. Everybody thinks they're an expert. I got these women that are apparently giant experts, but they have big fake lips. It's like, it's fucking crazy, man. I just can't take it anymore. It's just too fucking much.
What's funny is a lot of those guys that spent the last 3 years hating Daniel Jones have now found themselves a new victim. And that victim is our second pick, Ivan Neal. He had a few bad plays on one-on-one defensive reps. There was whatever the drill they were running is favored for the defense, the one-on-one drill or whatever it is. And he had a couple bad reps. And since then, he's basically been labeled a draft bust. And these are the same people that call themselves Giants fans, which, still we have to define that word for people. I guess people just don't understand what fan means. But Evan Neal's the new guy. He's the guy that everybody's saying he's, maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe it doesn't fit the scheme. Maybe he's not going to find it. But, 2 weeks ago, everybody was hyped about fucking Evan Neal. Now, because of 4 plays, all of a sudden we should just scrap him. He's not Carl Cross or whatever his name is.
He was going against Tibbs. What do you want from the guy? What the fuck?
I mean, not only that, one thing that they leave out, his run blocking has been fabulous. No one talks about that shit. Every time they ran the ball to the right side, there's a fucking hole the size of like a king-size bed where you can literally just kind of walk through and shit. If Saquon can get to the line of scrimmage, fall down, and still pick up 4 yards. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's like, yes, sometimes rookies take a little bit longer to develop the pass protection. Hence, Andrew Thomas. Like, give me a break with this.
But not to mention, though, think about it like this. Where does your tight end line up most of the time? On the right side. So he's losing on one-on-one reps sometimes. He's very infrequently going to be one-on-one with somebody. He's going to have tight end help chip or straight up double team blocks for the majority of his pass sets. One-on-one in the run game, he's going to be able to plow people over. Someone was quoted as saying he's the size of a bus, one of his coaches. Like, he's a fucking monster. So, in the run game, he's going to be fine. And in the passing game, he's going to get help on the vast majority of his snaps to start of the season. I don't understand why people get so excited to fucking be negative. Like, it's something in people, and it's always the same people. It's always they find something. Yeah. It's funny how human nature kind of reveals itself through social media sometimes.
And now, due to an injury, he was able to get his number back. And finding out a little earlier that he played with it both in high school and in college. Yeah. It's like that movie. You guys remember that movie from back in the day with Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro called The Fan? Where Wesley Snipes got traded to the Giants and he didn't get his number. He was like in a slump for a little while. So fucking Robert De Niro turned into this crazy ass fan and literally goes and ends up killing Benicio del Toro to get his number. So you get number 5 and then the dude starts hitting like a maniac. You guys ever saw The Fan?
That's crazy.
Man, you gotta look this shit up, all right?
That's a crazy fucking premise.
I said it was a fucking
I've heard of it
movie.
before,
it makes no sense, but there is some sense to that shit where there are a lot of like, it's just a mental thing, and it's very like superstitious where they want that, they used to playing with a number, that's their number, you know what I mean? And they want to be able to play with it throughout their whole entire career. So I don't know. Listen, maybe, watch. If all of a sudden now you don't see Evan Neal fucking tapes, there you go.
Imagine he gets his number and all of a sudden he goes, has a Tristan Wirfs all pro season right out of the gate. That would be fucking hilarious. But, I think for an athlete, especially, you got to think, freshman year of high school, you're 14 years old, something like that, 13, 14 years old. So since he's a child, I mean, you're literally a child at that age. As an athlete, your number is almost like a second name for you. You know what I mean? So like you identify with that number every day of your fucking life. And then all of a sudden, it's taken away. Not that it's going to really impede you from being able to be a good player, obviously, but there's got to be a little like something to it where it just kind of, if you start on a team and people start calling you the wrong name for, it's probably not going to feel as comfortable as, people calling you by your actual name. It's kind of the same thing in a sense, but it's unfortunate how he ended up getting the number because Matt Gano unfortunately had to retire due to a neck injury, and that's, it's NFL as another victim. That's just what it is. But he's got his number. Hopefully this turns him around, and good luck to McEnroe, whatever his future endeavors are.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, we lost we lost him. We lost guard, the number 5th round pick in the NFL draft from North Carolina. We lost him for the year. He tore his ACL on that fucking turf. So I mean, I didn't expect that dude to play anyway this year. I figured he'd kind of be like almost like redshirted. Because, I mean, listen, the way Lemieux's been looking at left guard, I think he's got that spot, locked down, man. I know people were making fun of us last year before going into last year, before Lemieux got hurt. We were saying, like, this dude's, he's kind of a beast. He could definitely run block. I mean, the whole line is run blocking tremendously in practice. It's pretty nice to see that, because that's only going to open up the door, for Jones and the play action pass, which he's pretty good at. You know what I mean?
Play action pass, and there's going to be putting more super dynamic, super athletic skill position players in one-on-one coverage. And Jones's job will only be to figure out how to get the ball to whoever is the most open guy, or whoever guy has the most opportunity to make a big play. And that's going to be their offense, especially to start out the season. If they're excelling in the run game with Saquon and Breida and Gary Brightwell, whoever ends up getting the run plays, they're going to lean heavy on that until the chemistry between Daniel Jones and the wide receivers and these choice routes and all that stuff, once they start ironing that out, which is going to take time, you can lean on the run game and let that, and that ends up being a major strength of the team. I mean, everybody wins in that standpoint, everyone across the entire team. You shorten games that way too. And with guys like Saquon, one run on, your opponent's 45-yard line, all of a sudden a 55-yard touchdown because fucking Andrew Thomas and Shane Lemieux leveled the defensive end and the defensive tackle on that side. All of a sudden it's 55 yards and touchdown.
The guy that got hurt, just for people to know, is Marcus McKethan. I think 30th, 5th round pick. So just throwing that out there, man.
So now, guys, also today they released the official depth chart. And to me, I don't know, I saw one surprise. What about you guys? Any surprises that you saw on that list?
I actually didn't even look at it.
Okay. All right. Mike?
I did, but I don't think I've seen any real surprises. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson getting that first nod as wide receiver is pretty nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, but he's what? He's like, well, I guess because they consider that like the slot, right? So he's already kind of there. They got Shep being like basically wide receiver 4 right now. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, well, we saw that coming, right? Shep still isn't 100%. So, I guess we're gonna go with Wendell and Tony on the field at the same time. I mean, that looks like a real deal thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, but for me, the surprise was, where's Matt Pert? He's just like, Gano's gone, right? We know that. And Matt Pert's not even on the list. And there's nothing saying we caught him. There's nothing on the is he still like on the PUP list, maybe? But then they have indications for the PUP list.
ACL, Jules. He's still coming back from that. He's nowhere close to be ready this thing.
He's on the PUP list officially, yes. On the depth chart here, he's got 2 asterisks next to his name, which indicates physically unable to perform. Parentheses, PUP list.
He looked like too slow to be a tackle, right? It seems like everybody's going around on the edge to get to the quarterbacks when he was playing. Maybe he'd be better suited as a big guard, He's a
little bit tall. I think they might have those positions covered. But you'd like to see him, he only played a year. It'd be nice to see him develop into something. But the Giants have now, at this point, spent 2 of their biggest resources in the last couple of years on tackles, on offensive. So he doesn't really have a place anymore unless there's an injury, which, God forbid, hopefully that doesn't happen. He doesn't really have a space to play. He's going to have to learn a new position, or he's going to have to solidify himself as a swing guard for the next few years. And then hopefully he catches on with another team somewhere else down the line. But that's best case scenario, given the investments the Giants have made in these tackles.
Didn't they sign somebody, Jules? Eric Smith came back?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was gone. He was with us for a while, a little bit, and then he came back. So that's a tackle. Maybe he's going to be the swing tackle for Gano's spot.
I mean, yeah, you never know. I mean, listen, they got guys that are just still feeling out. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully we don't run into any kind of situation that we did last year, and hopefully these guys can play at least 14, 15 games, and we don't have to worry about this because by then we'll have enough guys and guys will be back and we'll know who's healthy and who can back up who.
Get rid of the turf.
Huh?
Get rid of the turf. I mean, Christ, how many more people want to fucking go down? You guys want to start a go spot check? I mean, no, not go spot. What are that? GoFundMe or whatever for like a new turf? Like we'll pay for it. Like all the fans will just pay for it. I'm sick of this shit.
I remember sometime during last season, or maybe it was the season prior, there was some article written exactly about this because how many people on the Giants and the Jets were getting hurt and other teams too. But then whatever the research that was done, whatever the investigation found, they're right in line with basically most other teams, most other stadiums. So I don't know how that's possible. It feels like the Giants and Jets, maybe because, they hit closer to home, especially out with the Giants with us. So it feels like it happens more frequently. If you're watching ESPN on a little tick on the bottom, some, random player you don't really know says from San Francisco gets hurt. It's not going to stick with you the same way as like, God forbid, Julian Love got hurt. Like that's going to stick. And that now your starting safety is injured for however many games. So maybe that's just what it is. It just feels worse because it hurts us more. I don't know.
Probably something along those lines for sure. That's what makes sense. But to me, guys, one of the things, and I know this is going to kind of transition into our Haters Club edition tonight, is how much emphasis is actually being put on practice. I mean, look, this for years and years and years. I've seen it a dozen times when I was playing, when I coached. I saw guys that look like superstars in practice, right? They're blowing up plays. They're dropping back. They're throwing the ball 100 yards. They're running all over the place. They're running great routes, not dropping a pass. They look like a star. You're like, oh my God, this guy is going to be a stud. Can't wait to the game for the season and everything to start. And then the season starts and they don't fucking translate into the game at all. And the same is true when you got people that look like space cadets on the practice field. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, and I brought up Chase from last year with the catches and everything, right?
Yeah.
And how he was dropping the ball and couldn't see it, and then all of a sudden he gets into the game and that dude's fucking the best receiver in football, right? So there's so much of that shit that is just over the top emphasized. But the thing that worries me, and this is what I wanted to kind of make my only comment on Daniel Jones. And look, we can go into a blue in the face, but Mike, I know you had a little bit going on with that in regards to some comments that were made. But my biggest concern is this. If there's already this much beat writer, tweets, focus, and people just on him for fucking practice with these throws, that shit's going to carry over into the regular season. And we know learning a new offense, a new style, new receivers, all this shit, new, there's going to be some growing pains. And I just hope that he's able to handle that and that we haven't as much as you've seen guys like in the past, like David Carr from Houston that I brought up a couple of weeks back, and how damaged he had gotten from his offensive line and not trusting things and all this other nonsense that had taken place. So that's my biggest concern, because there's a lot of people that'll sit here and they'll say that Daniel Jones has got a good shot. He can make it. There's a lot of people that'll sit here and say they don't think the kid's got it, right? But then there's that fine line in between the two, where it's like, there's just this ridiculous, immense pressure on him for no fucking reason. The whole team's been lousy. It's not like the fucking reason why the Giants have fucking only won 4 games last year is because Daniel Jones just sucked. It's the whole fucking team. There was a ton of injuries. These guys not performing to the level they were supposed to. So it's crazy how much is being put on this poor guy for practice. And I just hope he's able to fucking block out all the bullshit and really just concentrate. And he's doing all this shit because what David wanted him to do was force the ball into these zones and force the ball away so that when the game comes into play, he knows that, okay, if I throw it there, it's a force. If I do it there, it's a pick. My only shot is that way, and he starts to adjust to the game because he went through this kind of shit in practice. I don't know.
Jules, they overanalyze everything. I was watching, they even made a big deal about this. It was during practice. They took Jones out the game for one play so Dable could talk to him about a play. And he's just like, all right, Tyrod, go in for this one play and just continue practice while I fucking talk to him. So many beat writers put it out there that they took Jones out for one fucking play when you had no fucking idea what the fuck was going on. You made it such like you want to start a QB controversy already with fucking Tyrod Taylor? Are you any Giant fan that I'm talking to all you Giant fans, any Giant fans that want Tyrod Taylor to fucking start, you're fucking idiots. You haven't seen enough of that fucking guy play. Listen, nice guy, good vet. I'm glad we got him because he could win you 1 or 2 games if Jones has to leave a game or if he gets hurt. But if we're starting him for every fucking game for 17 games, you think we're fucking going to the playoffs with him? Think again. You know what I'm saying? You guys are fucking morons. And same thing with Daniel Jones, all this fucking heat going on him. Jules, I remember like back in the day, I don't know if you remember, but Eli Manning got the same fucking shit, except it wasn't that big because social media wasn't around back then, but it was all in the newspapers. Even to the fucking season that Eli won his Super Bowl, they were still fucking dogging him, how inaccurate he was. He's not the guy. He's not like his brother. It was, can you imagine that back then to now? It'll be just, I would just go around just shooting all these fucking Giant fans. It would just drive me nuts.
You can go on YouTube and you can watch basically compilation videos of all these different networks, ESPN, the NFL Network, CBS Sports, Fox Sports. Go and look 2007, and even if you wanted 2011 as well, but especially 2007, the weeks of the playoffs, like the playoffs going on, each week, Eli Manning and the Giants got clowned. They had no shot in basically any of the games. Every single week, they were the underdog.
Huge underdog.
Every single week, everybody picked against them, and they kept fucking winning. So there's basically no like refuge for a New York athlete. It's just this is what our gross market is, unfortunately. And the point you made about the social media, it's so much more intensified than it used to be. Because you can basically avoid it. Like, don't listen to sports media. Don't listen to like ESPN or the Fan or whatever it is, whatever you're going to listen to in the car. Don't turn the television on and don't pick up a newspaper. And you're completely removed. But now you have people texting you all day long, all your friends and family. This person said that. This person said this. Even if they're consciously avoiding it, they're still getting inundated with all this stuff all the time. And just with the social media age, the way it is, everything gets so blown out of proportion. There's no escaping it. Whoever the next guy is going to be, it could be, I don't even know.
God.
I would say, it could be Peyton Manning's son. I mean, this is Peyton Manning's brother when it still happened. So who fucking knows? It doesn't matter who they are. They would have to be basically, Peyton Christ. And that's the only way he's going to get a chance in New York. That's it.
They'll still win game. They'll still crucify him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's true. Until you win games, they're just ruthless, and you really got to have alligator skin to play in this town.
John,
I think Daniel Jones does, and I think this season, maybe not right in the beginning, it won't be super spectacular, but I think by the end of the year, most people are going to be like, I want Daniel Jones on the team for a little bit more, at least franchise tag him. I think there'll be a lot of that talk. Do we franchise tag Jones? Or do we sign him to a contract extension? What do we do? It's not going to be where's Jones going to play next year. It's going to be franchise tag or extension. Do you double down and bet on him getting a long contract?
You got these people like that don't even cover the Giants that just put out that fucking content, like that guy Snyder. I forgot his first, Dan Snyder, Chris Snyder, something like that. Dan? Yeah. So I seen him pop on it. He's so like negative and fucking arrogant about his takes. I can't fucking take it anymore. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, he was one posting about the Daniel Jones throw to the sideline. I'm like, yo, wake up, motherfucker. Like, I can't take it anymore. I really can't.
I can see a crazy scenario.
Yeah.
I can see a crazy scenario with this, right? Because I could see the Giants, and I've been saying this, and as we get closer, I'll point out some really important facts. Although I heard Robert Woods is healthy now, and Treylon Burks is looking pretty good. He's gotten over his his issues with not like being able to keep up with camp and the speed of the NFL. So the Titans seem to be like they'll be ready to go. But at one point, it almost looked like we might be able to catch them napping. And then we open up against Carolina. And the worst thing that can happen is this team could jump out to a 2-0 start. And then all of a sudden trip up against Dallas on Monday night. And then who knows that Chicago game becomes 50-50. And all of a sudden now we could be on our way to a 2-game losing streak going into Green Bay, right? Or we could come out slow, just like we've been saying, and we lose to Tennessee like we're supposed to. And then all of a sudden, God forbid, the team isn't going right, and we trip up against Carolina, lose to Dallas, and we're 0-3 going into that game because it's possible.
That's
it's
a wrap.
fucking possible.
Right. Yeah.
So who the fuck knows what that kind of media, social media, all the talk's going to be. And that's where what my biggest fear is when it comes to this whole situation with Daniel Jones, because he could get buried one way or the other.
Yeah.
And that's just where I see some issues there, because it may not be his fault. Shit, we could blow a game on a defensive play, right? And fucking all of a sudden it's his fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what if he's putting up fucking 28, 30 points or whatever, a few touchdowns a game, and or he'll just throw like a dumb mistake, or that we think it's on him, but it could be on the wide receiver not running the route, and we don't know that, and then all hell breaks loose on social media. Like it's very toxic, especially like I could see like all this bickering, all the fighting going over for like games, but over fucking practices and shit. Like, yo, dude, you gotta fucking relax, man. Like,
can we get to Thursday night, please?
Yeah,
can we get the fucking Thursday night, you know? Like, let me see him make a retarded throw against fucking, I'm sorry, a really bad throw against New England. All right? Let me just see him do that.
Throw a mentally challenged.
You're going to have that.
Like, to another guy.
You're going to see bad throws. Like, they're working out a new offense that has a lot of reliance on the wide receivers and the quarterback looking at the defense, seeing the same thing, and playing the ball the right way. It's not just pen and paper routes like you did with Jason Garrett's offense. That's all of them talking about. Every conversation about the offense is how creative the offense is going to be and how much choices and freelancing these wide receivers can do. Well, with that, and we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. So you're going to see in their first action together against a team that you have players who are playing for a job or playing for the season, you're going to see plays that are like, wide receiver. Let's say fucking Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a rookie. It's going to be his first time shooting up for an NFL game in his entire life. He's thinking, okay, I see this. I think I see this. And then all of a sudden he runs down the for a go route or whatever the route is. And like what that video was circulating around, Daniel Jones, he's seeing what's supposed to be there, which is an out route or a curl route, throws the ball the way it's supposed to be thrown. But because the receiver wasn't on the same page, it makes Daniel Jones look terrible because now it turns into an interception or worse, a pick six. But you're going to have stuff like that. It may not be a pick six, but you're going to have stuff like that all the way into the first couple weeks of the season. There's a learning curve here. And that's why they got to definitely lean on the whatchamacallit, on the run game. But we can't get super low on plays like that. Like you just can't. There's too many different variables in the offense. We got to let it mature into something.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Isn't it when you have a practice that's open to the public, or you have all these beat writers in there? Nowadays, there's cameras everywhere. You hold them in your pocket, in your hand, in your purses, whatever, because everyone has one on their phones. Do you really think the Giants are really opening up their fucking offense? That would be the dumbest thing ever, dude. Like, there's so much shit they're not doing. They're just working on basic bullshit, and they're just trying different things to just see how that would look, because once they develop those things, they're going to go into a package, and then that package would be what we're running when we're in an actual game. I mean, it's like, all that shit is forgotten. I mean, look, I don't know if you guys saw the Hall of Fame game, but they were running Josh Jacobs, who's supposed to be the starting running back for Vegas, like he was a fucking rookie or something, and immediately it was, oh, shit, they're trying to trade him, and they're trying to pump him up and look how good he is. No, they just want to let you know that we got this motherfucker. Yes, we didn't sign him, but we plan on using him. And guess what? When we put Devontae Adams on the field and Carr, this offense is going to open up even more so, and then Renfro and Waller and all these other guys. So guess what? That shit's coming because we can run the ball. So like that's all that shit was. It's smoke screens. That's what the NFL is all about all the time. They love sending misinformation and smoke screens. We talked about that during the draft. We set the smoke screen and Neil and fucking Tibbs fell to us. So like, let's see what's up. Although that kid that did go number one looked pretty damn good on Jacksonville. I gotta admit that.
Yeah, he did.
Fucking pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize. I thought he was a bigger dude. So hats off to him. They might have gotten something right with that. He's gonna make some noise over in Jacksonville this year.
Word up.
So one thing to the point of you're saying they're running, whatever they're running. Today specifically, Dable was asked about, or I don't know if it was Dable, was one of the coaches. I don't know if it was in a press conference or off to the side, whatever it was. But what the reporter was told, or whoever, it was on Big Blue Kickoff Live today. So maybe it was one of the guys on the show asked about it. What he said was today the offense for the Giants and whatever portion the media was there for, what they were doing was basically scout team work, running the Patriots plays, so that way what they think the Patriots will run on Thursday night. So they were acting almost like they were running half speed, and they weren't running their own plays. They were running basically what what the Giants and the Patriots are going to be doing on Thursday. They were running those plays to adapt the defense to like scouting an opponent. So Daniel Jones apparently didn't have a great day today, but they weren't even running full speed, and they weren't even running their own plays in whatever portion of the time that the media was out there. So you don't like. There's so much information that you don't have as a fan, and so much information that these media fucking assholes have. And if that's where you're going to get your information from, you're not getting a complete picture. You're just not.
Up in New England, they're saying like Mac Jones is having a shitty camp. He sucks. I'm like, dude, it's his second year. Can you people chill? Like, I bet he comes out, he's fucking looking like Tom Brady come week.
They were saying the same thing in San Francisco about Lance.
Great Lance,
you know what I mean? Like it's
it.
going around. Hurts is supposedly having. I think everybody's having. Every fucking quarterback.
Every quarterback
having a bad year. Joe Burrow got his appendix out. He's fucking limping around on the sideline. Matthew Stafford's on a pitch count, if you will, with his shoulder.
Nobody wants Garoppolo.
Every quarterback's broken down this year.
Nobody even wants Garoppolo. That's how fucking much he sucks.
You know, there's a quarterback battle going on between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and fucking in Carolina. I mean,
I think
Baker
Baker gets
Watson got suspended 6 games. We don't know. He could be out the whole year. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, nobody knows what the fuck is going on with these quarterbacks.
I think Baker gets shot week 1 because they play Cleveland the first week. Right. So that'll be a fucking game to watch. If it's fucking like Sam Darnold, nobody's going to give a shit about that game. You want to see Baker go against Cleveland, man. So
hell yeah, you do. Absolutely.
The Baker's in Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I left out. Wentz is having accuracy, throwing problems. Yeah, Dak got sacked 75 times. He thinks he could just keep getting sacked and throw the ball. I mean,
it's no wide.
There's bad reports about every fucking quarterback in the NFL right now. So eat a dick if you're really hating on Jones.
Everybody sucks. All the quarterbacks suck, apparently, if you watch the fucking media. Keep listening to the media, jackasses. Get them. They get you all riled up. They lie.
Yeah. They want to sell newspapers and get followers and get people to subscribe. Right. That is the object of them. So they'll say whatever to fucking get it stirring that pot.
Right.
There's a possibility, guys. We go out and let's say we steal one from the Titans. The next game you're going to have the whole storyline is going to be finally the Giants have the winning record for the first time in 6 years. That's going to be you're going to hear it leading up to, and that week, whatever way it goes. You're going to hear about that storyline, but you're also going to start to hear about Baker Mayfield going against Daniel Jones after their whole fucking saga, when Daniel Jones got first got drafted. How sweet would it be to have Daniel Jones go out, win the first game, then go beat Baker Mayfield straight up one-on-one, not one-on-one really, but mano-a-mano like that, and fucking get out to a 2-0 fucking start, bro. That would be.
You're missing another one. You're missing another storyline. What if Barkley goes out week 1, runs for 150 yards, and then all of a sudden that next week, you look back at that 2018 draft, like, oh shit, maybe Barkley was actually the best player in that draft besides Josh Allen. Because all of a sudden Baker's kind of shitty, Sam Darnold's kind of shitty. All of a sudden, like maybe that was a fucking good pick. So we'll see. It'll be a lot. A lot could happen between week 1 and week 2. That's for sure.
Well, one last thing about about camp so far I just wanted to throw out there was the whole Dirty 30 that Darnay Holmes was now nicknamed the Dirty 30 because he plays that position like he's never seen someone, as his Wink saying these, right? So he plays that position like he's never seen a nickelback play it.
Nice.
And he's coming up, he's making plays. So who knows what we might use with him? Like Wink's the type of guy, might mix and match him. You might see him get in with Julian Love out type of thing, and he plays that safety spot for a couple of downs. I don't know, man. If he's playing that dirty, I like it. That's all I'm saying.
It's 2 different positions, I think.
Right. Yeah,
what Julian Love's going to be asked to do and what Darnay Holmes is going to be asked to do are 2 completely different things. I don't know if Darnay is going to be stealing many snaps from Julian Love. But one thing I did hear also is the majority of the time, if one of the guys are going to be up, one of the safeties are going to be up, it's been Julian Love, and he's been up a lot apparently. and Xavier McKinney's been more playing that kind of like free safety type of a role. And
But
we saw
McKinney
him
has blitzed too.
that.
He has walked McKinney up a couple of times in practice.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's not exclusively Love. It's not like that at all. Where, if you have like a guy like Landon Collins, he's not playing center field very many snaps. They're not going to be like that. They're a little more interchangeable than that. But it is something to think about, because Julian Love he's a smart football player. He's like a tactically sound football player, and he's somebody who's going to be important to this defense if he's going to be playing up a lot. Him and Blake Martinez being able to be effective in the run game and somehow be able to be creatively, incorporated into the blitz game, that's going to mean a lot for our defense. Those two guys there. Blake Martinez being back and him being gone last year, that was big. The team fell apart last year, so it's hard to compare. But if you remember back to 2020 when he was first on the team, he was, what did he get, like 160 tackles or something crazy like that? Like, he was a very, very important piece, and he looks good. And him being back, being able to stop the run game and fucking allow the Wings defense to be aggressive on second and third downs, passing situations. Might only need 20 points, 23 points a game to win.
I hear you. Well, what do you think, Mike? I think that brings us to our first commercial break, right?
I guess so. I mean, one last thing about camp. We missed the John Feliciano fight when he was getting dragged off the field. Like, he looked like he was getting dragged off the field like he was dead. Like, it was like Weekend at Bernie's. I think who was that?
Private Ryan.
Who was that? Tay Crowder that did that to him?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
That's looking crazy. He's getting dragged because they have to wear those stupid extra helmet that goes on the side of them. They look like they got off the short bus. So he's getting dragged on the ground with one of these stupid giant helmets on. It's a sight, man. It's very funny to see. But everybody's seen that shit on social media, I'm sure.
But listen, dude, I get that whole look, but there's got to be a way this day and age that they could design helmets where that padding could be on the inside. Like, come on.
Yeah, it got to be on the outside.
You're kidding me with that, dude. Like, give me a break with that one. I mean, enough with this shit. Like, fine. If it's practice and training camp, totally fine. But really, come on.
It looks like he's trying to communicate with aliens or some shit. Like, what are you trying to do out there, man? Like, it's fucking weird.
It looks like, what is it, Tropicana? That the lady had the fruit basket on her head?
Yeah, throw some apples and shit on there.
Yeah, that's what that shit looks like.
Some grapes and shit. Like, it's fucking crazy. All right, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll get into the Haters Club. We'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back on the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Sean. Haters Club time, fellas. It's the Haters Club, everybody's favorite segment.
Welcome all you ignorant ass bitches, critics, complainers, disgruntled rappers, and racists especially, to the 9th annual International Player Haters Ball. Oh man, hate.
I got one. Hey, Jules got one. And John, I don't know if you got anybody, but I think we should just start with Jules anyway.
Oh, you want me to kick it off? All right.
Yeah, because that shit was nuts.
Nah. Yeah, you don't think save that one for last? I mean, that's just gonna be fucking hysterical.
All right, yeah, we'll say.
All right. I'll go last. All
right.
I think you deserve it.
All right, I'll just go first since we're talking about the whole Daniel Jones thing. So, my nomination is Ashton Griffith _ at Ashton Griffith _ He put a video of Daniel Jones just throwing the ball away to the sideline, but he kind of insinuated that, hey, Daniel Jones sucks. I'm like, dude, you're a Giants fan, know the game. Because if you actually throw that pass to the intended target, which is Galladay, that he was just lollygagging the route, if you do that, it would have been a pick six to the house. So he was just throwing away like you should do. Like, Jules, you were saying before, like, you have to learn to throw it away when the play's not there. He's trying to, like, teach him, and which is fucking finally a great thing. But now all these fans like that are just saying he sucks because he threw the ball away. I'm like, you got to fucking stop. So once I seen that, I'm like, and all heads were, I know, like, people had, like, the same viewpoint that I did. I know you guys did. Chris Sims came out and said the same thing. The people that actually played football or at least played Madden, like, you would know not to fucking throw that pass in a game of Madden because you'd be fucking dead. So that was my nominee. Who do you got, John?
My nominee is a notorious caller into the Big Blue Kickoff Live show, Charlie from Portland, Maine. Just an excruciating human being. One of the people that, like,
do you have his handle?
What?
Do you have his Twitter handle or no?
No, I just look for it. I think he blocked me because I've gotten into arguments with him in the past. But if you ever listen to BBKL, he calls in literally almost every single day. It's a show that goes 5 days a week on the Giants app and Giants website and stuff like that. It's a good show to listen to if you listen to a show. Yep. But you will have 5, 6, 7 minutes of your life completely drained by this fucking asshole in Portland, Maine, who just cries every day about Daniel Jones. And then obviously his new victim is Evan Neal. That's it's a constant thing. He's always got something to complain about. And it's just like we were talking about it earlier. How do you make this your fandom experience? Like, even if you don't believe in those players, isn't there anybody on the team that you do get excited about? Like, why wouldn't you just view the team through the players that you do like? Like, all right, you like Leonard Williams, like what?
They're miserable, and misery loves company, and that's why they have their squad.
They just gotta stroke that shit.
That's it.
They gotta stroke that shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of stroking, Jules.
Well, I live that way, but Jules, yeah, Jesus Christ, that's a great segue, John.
Oh yeah, that was good, right?
Here we go.
well, I finally officially joined you guys. I broke my cherry because we're gonna just keep going with these kind of phrases all the rest of this podcast. And I did get thrown in Twitter jail for about 12 hours. All right.
Congrats.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. They said you were blocked. They said I could DM people still, but like it had to be people I knew or I was cool with or followed by and all this kind of shit.
Had to go bail you out.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like, your account is blocked. I'm like, man, they sent me like 7 emails. It was like 5 different messages that I had said that they were like, yeah, these are no good. You cannot say this type of shit. And I'm like, all right, fine. And it all started over some fantasy bullshit, but it did segue into Giants talk. So it did fall perfectly into the haters club. And look, I have been out. I went out for brunch, decided to stay out that day. It was fucking hot as balls. I'm walking around. I'm probably dehydrated from the night before. So, I was pretty kind of feeling good, to say the least, right? and I see this one stupid tweet. I don't know why. I was just fucking on my phone. And the guy's like, Saquon Barkley's going to be the steal of a draft. And I'm like, dude, that's stupid, because if you do fantasy, any player that's taken in the first 2 rounds, you're pretty much taking them as being your studs on your team. So you're thinking they're going to be that good. And in every fucking mock draft I've done, especially over the last couple of weeks, Saquon Barkley's gone in the second round. Like sometimes he's even going in the end of the first. Like he's gone, dude. There's no more sleep. They see the way he's running in practice. They think they're going to have a good year. The Giants' O-line, like I've been saying, and we've been saying on the show, is way more improved than the run game, right? Okay. So I still tried to explain that to him, right? And I guess maybe, I'm a little drunk, so I could get a little condescending. Oh, and by the way, his name is Brody at It's Giants Season. But I'm going to spell Giants and then put S-Z-N because it's season and I'm cool and I just do it like that. Anyhow, that's his fucking Twitter handle. And fuck you. I can say whatever the fuck I want on this show, asshole. So there you go, all right? And basically, we start getting into it. So because I'm actually, making some really good comments at this point and everything's making sense and I'm like really pointing it out and people are chiming in like, it's a stupid comment. Oh, yeah. Barkley's not asleep. He's not asleep. He's like, I never said sleep, but all this stupid shit. He then tries to pull some shit and he's like, dude, I'm only 13 years old. And I'm like, all right, young pup. No problem, dude. I'll back up off of you then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're new to playing fantasy. Look, I can always tutor you if you need help. I've been doing this shit way too long. I've been too many fucking leagues. I go that whole fucking route. And then I guess I said one more thing and he gets pissed off again. And then he just starts coming at me. I'm not 13. I'm a grown fucking man. I have a job. I got a wife. I got a kid. I got a house. I got a. And I'm like, good for you, pal. And
Didn't he call you grandpa? Didn't he call you grandpa?
No, dude, but then he's coming at me like he's like this big, successful fucking businessman and some shit. And he's got like a bank account with like 7 zeros at the end of it and shit. So at that point in time, right, it started getting to the point where I was getting a little heat because he's like, yo, why are you getting so tense? And why? Because I'm like, you're a dick. You're telling me you're a 13-year-old boy and I'm respecting that. And now all of a sudden you're coming at me like you're a better man than me and you make more money and you do all this type of shit. So you're literally calling me out. So it's going to end in 1 of 3 ways. I'm not in front of you, so we can't fight. So I'm not going to punch you in your fucking face at this point. So 1 of 2 things. Either I go to my ATM and I pull out my bank account and I show you who's got the bigger bank account, or I put my dick on the table, which I didn't actually do, but I said it figuratively. I said, dude, I walk into that room with you, I got a bigger dick than you by a mile. And that was it, bro. I was in Twitter jail before you knew it because I said I had a bigger dick than he did by far.
I would do it.
Like any real man's got a big dick. That's it.
I report you for that. me and John follow this guy. We never had problems with him, man. But it sounds pretty entertaining, man. That you went at each other.
I think someone called me a clown. I don't know if he called me a clown, called him a clown, whole conversation a clown. I mean, it was though. That was the whole point of it. I didn't really think that I said if I just throw my big dick on the table, that Twitter's gonna be like, no, that's it. You got to go to jail. It's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. All right. I didn't actually pull it out on the table. I mean, what the fuck?
Right. It's not like pictures.
I think what might have happened is, given the progressive company that Twitter is, they probably had some transgender, police officer that put you in Twitter jail that doesn't actually have a penis and was very offended by the fact that not only do you have one, but it's also perhaps a large one. So she's like, we can't have this kind of behavior going on. 12 hours for you.
Not a lot of guys out there that have gigantic dicks like us, so we feel bad for you guys.
Like we gotta have something. That's why it's the Big Blue, right?
Big Blue offensive, so we say offensive things sometimes. Big Blue and Veiny.
And I even told him, I was like, listen, I'm gonna give you a heads up, bro. You're definitely going to be shouted out on the show this week. There's no doubt about it. I don't care how drunk I am, and I was pretty drunk because I woke up and I was like, did I really get suspended? Did I really tell someone I was going to throw my dick on the table? I was like, did I really do all that? And I'm like, I'm going through the tweets that I'm supposed to delete. I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that. I
gotta be honest, Jules. It sounds like you deserve it. I have to admit.
That's the title of the episode, right?
Yeah, of course. Big Blue and Veiny. Of course it is. No doubt about that.
I mean, look, listen, I said I was going to get thrown into a jail. I was going to get blocked. So, I went out on the limb to make sure I did. You know what I mean? I did it for you guys.
Hey, listen, it's all good fun. I'm sure, he got over it. You got over it. And it just makes it entertaining a show for us, man. So, hey, we'll shout him out if he ever wants to come on in the hate debate. Yeah, you're welcome to come on, man. Fucking everybody can whip their dicks out for that episode.
See, that's the thing. Like with Twitter, it just misses the mark. Like the whole point of these interactions online. I mean, not the whole point, but part of it is to fucking make people laugh. If you're gonna say something funny online, and then you're going to have to be put in fucking, Twitter jail for 7 days, whatever the fucking case is. You're kind of taking away the fun of it. All you're leaving is people being aggressive towards each other, just tiptoeing that line.
Yep.
Let us fuck around. Let us talk about fucking whipping our penis.
Like I said, there was even things I think came out. I was like, I think I'm pretty sure they called me the clown. I was like, yeah, I kind of was being a clown. I was drunk as fuck. I was like, yeah, I told them what I was going to do. And that was it. That's the whole point of it. Especially that's what this whole hated club debate is, right? Hated debate, right? It's because look, there's so many people that want to just point out the stupid inaccuracies of Daniel Jones or say something off the wall. Well, come up on here and actually make a fucking point. You know what I mean? And then we'll respect that shit, But until then, if you want to just hide around with these stupid little fucking things and wait for Daniel Jones to throw an incomplete pass in practice, you deserve to get what you get. Especially if you're going to say that some guy in the second round is a fucking sleeper, moron.
Well, the moral of the story is don't partner with Jules in fantasy football because you get into a lot of fucking arguments. I think I have Malarzik to back me up on that one.
Oh, definitely, right? We're arguing right now about fucking keeper team. We still got 3 more weeks till that draft. We've been arguing for 2 weeks now.
I bet because I'll hear about it eventually and shit. Yeah, so that was it, man. That's it for the Hater Club. I think that's a wrap. We got a Thursday night game. I think John might do a live thing or send me a video of him watching the game, doing Johnny's takes. That's a play on word. It's a play on word for Johnny Cakes. So maybe he'll get on there, do that, or Jules will get drunk and shit on Thursday night and go on his phone and harass somebody else and get thrown in Twitter jail. Maybe you should record that too, and then that's it. But you know where to find us. Like us, subscribe, do all that shit, right, Jules?
That's it, baby. The BBO NYG podcast. Wow, we'll catch you next week with one preseason game already in the books. See you then.
Get it. Peace.